Hey guys, we're in our feed room right now. Dad's heading into the Harvestor silo. We're gonna short arm it, which is something we have to do before we fill it when it's completely empty. We want to put our second cutting haylage in here next week. So I opened up the lid on the silo last week, just let air flow through. So right now it's considered long armed. The knives go the whole way out to the edge of the silo. And when you first fill it, there's a lot of weight at the bottom. And when you get started, you want it to be just a little bit shorter so that it can actually make its way around and kind of start building a cavern inside of there. So we got to release the spring on the arm, and then we're going to remove this short section of the arm and shorten the chain a little bit. 1.5 foot shorter is all it is. So there's a big spring in this arm that keeps tension on the chain. So first thing we have to do is just spin this with a punch to release the tension on that spring. So it's the next day now. Yesterday we had to quit this job because we weren't sure how many links of the chain to take out. There's a new chain put on it. We had the old one marked. So we didn't have time yesterday then to finish it up. Hopefully today we can get to it later. But it's a good calm day today, so I'm gonna try to get some spraying done. Gotta spray the second pass on our corn now. And that's something I need to get on before it gets too tall. You can see we finished up our rye ag bag. Opened up that first triticale bag there. Pretty happy with it. It's coming out with good feed. So I'm just pulling up to the spray loading area. We're gonna run glyphosate to clean up any weeds that are coming up, and then some fertilizer. We have some micronutrients and some nitrogen. So first I'll fill it about half full with water, and then we can start adding the products. We keep our chemicals in this garage here. It's a pretty good spot for it. We have glyphosate in this tote. We didn't use near a full tote, but it's kind of nice having it in bulk like this. You can just tap out what you need. So we're gonna put 8.5 gallons of that in. First thing I'm gonna put in though is this product called Torch. So this is something we like to put in when we're spraying glyphosate. It just helps the spray be more effective. It's a pH buffer and it's surfactant. Just helps the herbicide to work better because it allows the water to have better contact with the leaf. Makes the water wetter. So I'm gonna put about 7 pints of this in. So I shut that pump off, sprayer's about half full with water. I'm gonna turn my agitation pump on now. Turn that up just a little bit. This is our second season with this sprayer. I've been really liking it. It's a whole lot nicer than our old one. Our old sprayer had a PTO pump on it. This one's hydraulic. Sprayer pump is right there. So the nice thing with this is I can turn as sharp as I want. If you have a PTO shaft, you gotta be a little careful with that. And also, it doesn't matter where the RPMs of the tractor are, the pump runs the same speed. So I definitely am glad we went with the hydraulic pump on it. Let's go get the glyphosate. We use this 5-gallon bucket. I have markings on it. Just 8.5 gallons. So that's 3 gallons. So I got all the glyphosate in. That's stirring up good. Now I'm gonna back up. We're gonna get the skid loader. We have 2 different types of fertilizer to load in. I like to be over there on that concrete area. And then we'll have to add some water then at the end. So we're not an organic farm. I talk about glyphosate sometimes, usually get a few comments. You know, we use it as directed. Try to, you know, not over apply it. You know, we're no-till farming. We're keeping the soil in place. We do have to use some herbicide to control weeds, but when it rains, that soil's not washing away, not ending up in the creek.
So then this is the second fertilizer we're putting on. This is that Explorer product. It's nitrogen. We used some of this last year and we're happy with it. Did some in the spring with spring forage, and then now we're running more this year. We got manure on the ground, so we got nitrogen from that, and then this is just kind of boosting. Stuff's like syrup. So we're running 3 quarts to the acre. So I got the rest of the water in, went up to just under 700 gallons. So we're gonna spray at 15 gallons to the acre. Should cover about 45 acres. Gonna go ahead and start at the other farm. The driver over there now. Always drive away slowly because you never know if you forgot to unhook the water line or something. I've done that before. Home farms across the fields there. Heading back to what we call a quarry farm. So what crop is that? You recognize it? Got a lot of neighbors that grow tobacco around here. Some of the corn at this farm doesn't look quite as nice to me. This low area here, it's just a lot shorter and it's not too impressive. A little disappointed with that. Up on the hill there, corn looks like it's a little better probably. To see what it looks like once we get up there. The field definitely looks a bit better once I get up on top of the hill, the main section of the field. Seem to have some compaction in the lower areas there, so that's one thing to think about. In the spring, we gotta make sure it's dry enough to get on there with the manure spreaders. This field has some striping in it. There's, I don't know if you can see, some darker green every 12 rows or something. I'm trying to figure out why that would be. I don't really have a good explanation for it. If it's where we had an overlap in the manure when they were hauling, seems a little bit close for that though, so I'm not really sure. The weed control is really good in this field. We have the glyphosate in because there are some little weeds here and there that are starting. We have trouble with pickles sometimes, which is a vine, just starts with a little plant and then it grows up into the stalks. Later in the year, it'll make a real mess. Some of those could be starting out now. We want to take care of them. So I like to run 6 or 7 miles an hour to do this. Could spray faster, but just want to make sure I can stay between the rows and don't hit any big bumps or anything. Well, I moved home. I'm right across the road from the home farm. So this is some non-BMR corn. We're probably going to be shelling this field. It's a really nice looking field. So we're right in that time where you feel like you have time to get through the fields and then all of a sudden it's just going to be too tall to drive in. So this stuff's just growing like crazy right now. But this field, it doesn't look too bad, but you can see there's some little grasses growing there. Some things like that we want to kill off. Keep them from competing with the corn, taking moisture and nutrients. Got the soybeans in this field. These are coming up after the triticale. We just no-tilled straight in. I think they're looking pretty good. this field had been alfalfa the last 4 years. So alfalfa puts nitrogen into the soil, corn uses nitrogen, so it's gonna be a good year. Even without much fertilizer, it would probably give a decent crop. I just finished up the last field. Got the sprayer cleaned out. So this sprayer is really handy. We have two 50-gallon clean water tanks on it, so I just have to get out and switch some valves, and we can run water through the inside of the tank, rinse it all out, and then run the water out of the sprayer. So I sprayed 72 acres today. I'm gonna take this back to the farm and park it. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to work on that silo today, kind of running out of time. Yeah, my dad's drying a cow or two up. We're gonna have to chase a couple of them. Dried up 2 cows this afternoon, these 2. So that means we're gonna stop milking them for a couple months, and they're gonna have a calf. So we gotta chase them down to that barn, way down there. We're getting to the very back of this bunker silo. Looks like about 5 days worth of feed left, and then we're gonna switch over to that third one. A little bit of junk feed in the back, in the corners. I'm gonna fork that off and then we'll skip it away with the skid loader. So this silage is actually 2020 corn silage. So we had filled in front of this last fall. There was just 12 or 15 feet of this in the back that we didn't quite feed out. It's still good feed. Gonna dig out that other side and then I'll start mixing feed for the cows. Well, I'm gonna run this feed out and call it a day. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.